Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show and what has turned into, I don't know, what could you consider The Office right now? Well, there's like no one here, first off, which is odd. But then second off.
So we're about 27 hours away from sending the 2021 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football to press. That's why we all look so tired. It's why, oh, I got to change that. You know, all those things, all the reasons why, blah, blah, blah. We're a little fried right now. We're tired of looking at this thing. We want you to have it desperately so that we don't have to have it anymore.
Yeah, we want the excitement to spark back up.
Yeah.
Because we're to the point of,
I'm done with this.
I'm done. I would rather not look at it right now.
I'm done with this thing. But there's a couple of items here on the pre-show. First of all, this is a declaration of disdain, a declaration of anger, a declaration of shaking my fist.
Old man yells at cloud.
At the University of North Texas football program. Okay?
Caw!
Here I am shaking my fist because I'm editing the 2021 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, texasfootball.com/subscribe. And I'm going through their defensive depth chart. Mm-hmm. And the Mean Green have the audacity, the absolute gall to start 3 players whose last name is Davis. Are you kidding me?
Okay, I will get... You're fair on that one. Like,
Quarterback John Davis is going to start. Sam linebacker Tyreek Davis and Mike linebacker KD Davis. I am in month 3 of editing this magazine, and you want to throw 3 Davises at me?
It would be one thing too if there was maybe one who was just a special teams player and one on defense and one on offense. They're all on defense within like probably
2 of them are linebackers.
Yeah, like I would say at max like 10-foot radius of one another.
North Texas. Grrr. I'm angry. So the other thing that's interesting, and we mentioned this very briefly at the end of yesterday's show, is because we send the magazine to press tomorrow. Tomorrow's Scotch and Pie Day. We don't have a show.
Yeah.
But because we send the magazine to press tomorrow, for the first time, I believe, in my tenure here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, I will get to have a Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
I will not have to work. Normally, I think I've worked 10 consecutive Memorial Day weekends. This is my 11th summer magazine. I think I've worked 10 consecutive Memorial Day weekends. That streak will end this weekend.
Which is great. Talk about a good streak to end.
Gonna be weird.
We don't talk about streaks wanting to end often.
No. The drought, so to speak, is over.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you're gonna have this is our last show before Memorial Day. Our last show till Tuesday. So
yeah.
What's on the pickle docket?
So that is also combined with my tiredness of trying to help get ready for my brother is graduating from Llano High School tomorrow. So congratulations, Jake. We're excited to celebrate you. But this weekend will be a celebration of my brother not only graduating, but also he will be coming up to go to UNT in the fall. So very excited.
And here's the thing. Mm-hmm. This is a big day for Lance and Trish.
Yeah, because
your
they
parents.
will, when they drop Jake off at college in August, they will be empty nesters for the first time in what will end up being about 24 and a half years.
Yeah.
That's obviously, it's hitting Trish. I know that for a fact. LP's like, get them out. Let's go.
I was going to say, like, talk about now. And the weird thing is going to college, they're out of the house, but they're not off the payroll.
Right.
Like, you're off the payroll.
I have been off the payroll. Yeah.
You're off the payroll. They're doing the dealer thing where they change dealers. Jake's still on the payroll, so they've still got a couple of years of forking out dough for him.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna
It'll be big. The other thing that I'm super excited about is we will be having a graduation party for Jake, and to know that he's going to get that after the poor kids of 2020 is super exciting. But it'll be the first time I have seen most all of my extended family since COVID started last year.
Awesome.
So it's big doing this week, and we're very excited. But lots of prepping food, lots of all of that packing. I'm tired.
we're gonna get together with some friends on Sunday.
Very nice.
And then on Monday, Monday, for the first time in his young life, we've only read books about it for his entire life, but Hank's going to the zoo.
Really?
Hank's going to the zoo on Monday.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, and he was naming. It was weird. Last night we were talking about it while we were doing dinner. Eating dinner, and I was like, Hank, do you know what we're doing Friday? He goes, we're going swimming because we're gonna do swim lessons on Friday. And then I was like, do you know what we're doing Monday? He goes, we're going to the zoo. And out of nowhere, he just follows it up as if it's like the predicate to the sentence. He goes, I want to see a lemur. It's like,
okay, little dude.
I bet we can make that happen.
I
don't know if
we're
I
gonna
don't
get
know.
you a lemur.
So Dallas Zoo, if you don't have a lemur, you have like 4 days.
Yeah, no, they
before
do. I'm pretty sure.
A very disappointed 2-year-old's going to come through. But he's fired up.
Lemur's a solid animal to want to see. That's solid.
I don't think he grasps. We told him we were talking about the animals. Like, do you want to see? He's like, do you want to see elephant? He's like, yeah. I was like, do you want to see alligator? And he was like, no, it's scary. And I was like, I don't know if he necessarily understands. It's like, I tell him, I was like, it's not going to kiss you. Like,
right.
Like they're going to be far away. We're just going to look.
I was going to ask, y'all don't have a dog.
No.
Or anything.
No.
How, and obviously COVID played a big year in that, but how often has Hank been around like a puppy and gone up to like?
He's been around a couple of them, and
okay.
it's a
hesitant.
It's hesitant at first.
Curiosity. I'm
yeah,
sure.
but then like I think once he realizes it's not going to eat him, he's okay. And so yeah, he's fired up to see the elephants and the lions and the alligators and the hippopotamus, but he doesn't want to. He's like, the hippopotamus is scary.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it, but don't worry. Like I'll be with you. We'll be holding hands and stuff like that. It's not gonna hurt you.
My mom my mom is listening. Put it in the comments. Zaboomafoo. That was. Do you know what Zaboomafoo?
I know the name. I don't know if I could recognize.
It's the show about the lemur. It was always my favorite as a kid, and I was gonna bring that up, but she put that in.
He wants to see a lemur.
He would like Zaboomafoo.
Yeah. You know another animal that maybe he will see. Perhaps he will see.
Bear Shirt Thursday.
Because it's Bear Shirt Thursday.
And I did it.
Starring Ashley Pickle.
Bear Shirt Thursday.
Bear Shirt Thursday. Hit the theme, Expo. Let's go! Free money! Free
How to sing blue thing. Shot glass in your hand.
Yes, go! From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a program on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I am the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, TexasFootball.com, corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making it sound good, getting ready for the end of magazine season and the beginning of pool season.
Yeah.
She is a Dutch to the dork. She's Ashley Pickle. This is like the end. This is like the moment where like it's not magazine season is not bad. I want to be clear. But it's stressful.
It is.
And then pool season, I know, is what you live for.
It is.
And lake season.
Yeah.
we're at that moment.
So I have a little one of those little. This is a quick side story. I'm gonna say it. It's a Thursday. It's a little board that you can put the little letters on
Sure.
and make your own things. And I've had it since the end of Christmas because I had Happy Holidays, blah blah blah. I put Wake Me Up when it's lake season, and I thought about changing it the other day, and I was like, you know what? Nope. We're waiting till after magazine season. So when I come back from Lano, the first thing I'm doing is I got to figure out something to put on my board.
That's right.
But it's almost.
I can
late
also. Yeah.
season.
Today is Thursday, May 27th, 2021. 182 days till Thanksgiving. I can announce the end of an era here on Texas football today.
Are you quitting?
No, I'm not, but I am quitting one thing.
Okay.
And that is today will be the final edition of the Ranger episode number.
It's so good that we ended this like this is our end of the week show.
Well, there's two more. I could do it. It's episode 1175, 1175. This is the Jeff Zimmerman episode. There are two more. Shout out to Bud Zipful and Richie Zisk. I could continue, but this strikes me as a good time to stop. I've done it for 1,075 episodes now because we went 1 through 99 were just Ranger numbers.
Okay.
But this also gives me a weekend to think of a new bit.
To figure out
my new bit.
Yep.
So come on here Tuesday for the debut of the new episode number bit. But shout out Jeff Zimmerman. That's an all-star.
Ooh, there's something to look forward to next week.
1,175. There we go. End of an era. It's tough. On today's show, guys, Pickle's got a segment that I have a vague idea of what we're doing, and so we're going to go through that. In the back half of the show, we will hear from Plano West coach Tyler Soukup, who is out at the Grapevine?
Yes.
Grapevine
7 on
SQT
7.
For 7 on 7. Matt Stepp, our own Canadian friend, caught up with him and chatted a little bit about those Plano West Wolves. So stay tuned to hear from Coach Tyler Soukup from Plano West coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Rob Hadaway, Daniel Agnew, Tony Blaylock, and Miss Terry Adams. Also have to give a shout out. Howdy from Virginia came in from Rob Legow in the pre-show. So howdy.
Do you think at this point, we're 1,175 episodes in, do you think at this point we've had live viewers from every state?
Maybe. I mean,
like the Dakotas would be tough. Like Delaware would be
Alaska.
tough. Vermont or like Delaware actually doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nobody's ever been to Delaware.
No, that's
so
fair.
it's interesting. I don't know. Okay. Welcome in, friends, fellas, and lady fellas. I'll say it for you. Okay. Pickle, you were editing a page in the magazine, the 2021 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Writers Poll,
Mm-hmm.
in which we gather up our friends in the media swamp, and we ask them a bunch of questions about college football, and we gather their answers, and we publish them. And we had some outstanding, as usual, our friends came through in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, not most importantly, but what's really fun is we do have guys from all over, guys and gals, I should say, from all over the state and all over the country,
yeah.
who weigh in. The folks I guess I'll give this away. The folks who filled out our writers poll this year were Zach Barnett, the Football Scoop, Texas Football Today's own; Adam Coleman, our buddy, who's now at The Athletic, formerly of the Houston Chronicle; Brian Davis, the Austin American Statesman; Drew Davison of the Fort Worth Star Telegram; Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports; Taylor Estes over at Horns 24/7; Stephen Godfrey, my leader over at Banner Society; Corey Hogue, our good buddy at Lone Star Sports Daily; Shahan and Ish, here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football; Sam Kahn Jr., who is with The Athletic now; David Ubben, our former colleague now at The Athletic; Chris Vanini over The Athletic as well; Brett Vito, our buddy up there at the Denton Record Chronicle; and Dave Wilson over at ESPN. So a star-studded cast.
Yeah.
And one of the questions that we asked them was, and I want to make sure I get this right, it was, if you were building a team around any current Texas college player, who would it be and why? If you were building a team around any... Oh, wow. Okay. That's a note there I need to change in the magazine. That Matt Stepp just dropped in the slide. If you were building a team around any current Texas college player, who would it be and why? So, Pickle, you decided to turn that into a segment on this podcast.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. It was because as I'm sitting there reading and editing and stuff like that, that was a question that seemed to have quite a wide variety of answers. that it was like, okay, well, this is a pretty simple question that you would think a lot of people would throw out maybe the same one or two names. And it's like nearly every person. And obviously, these are coming in from all those people. It's not like our people, like, we don't change them at all. They're given answers. So I was like, man, well, let's see with Tepper. So what I did was I broke down there were about 4 different categories that people answered in. We have a quarterback category, running back, wide receiver, and then lineman. So a couple of them are O-line, a couple of them are D-line. But we've got 3 from each category, and I want you to go through. And to be fair, I didn't put who in the writer's poll said which thing, because I want you to subscribe and get the 60-second edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football to see who these guys were.
Good work.
Thank you. These are some of the names that were mentioned, and I want you to go through and tell me which one and why.
This is like one of those things on Soch where you have to pick, you have $15.
You have your squares.
Squares.
And the other thing is, not all the Texas colleges are represented because I pulled from that list. So if you don't see a specific college on here, don't yell at me. These are what the writers said.
Okay, so let's see what we got.
So here we go.
Here's the graphic. I have not seen this, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, so I got to pick a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a defensive lineman or offensive lineman, which is interesting. Okay, so the quarterback options here are Hudson Card / Casey Thompson at Texas.
Yes, both were listed, and we don't know who's going to start. So
Tyler Shug at Texas Tech or Max Duggan at TCU. I'll say this: I think this is the toughest one because in past years we've had I think a really there's been one guy, at least one guy that you're like he's a bona fide
something would have to go wrong
star.
For him not to be the starter.
We know he's the guy. And we really don't have that this year. Baylor's having a quarterback change. There's only a few that are coming in. And here we've got 2 guys listed who are not returning starters, Tyler Shug and then either Hudson Card or Casey Thompson. I'm going to go here with Tyler Shug at Texas Tech. I think that he is probably the most I think he's got the most experience for sure because he played at Oregon.
He transferred in from Oregon.
I think. And although Max Duggan, of course, was played at TCU. I think that Tyler Shug probably has the highest upside here. This was a guy who, coming out of high school, was a 4-star guy, a big-time playmaker. I think he would probably be my pick, although I think you could pick any of these guys. I think Max Duggan's a good choice there as well. Texas, I would hold off just because we don't know who it is. I'll go with Tyler Shug. Don't hold me to that. I think who's the best quarterback in the state of Texas is such a strange question this year that you could have 5 or 6 different answers, and I probably agree with you.
Right, and so then this one I'm interested in because these are all guys that are very well established. So you move on to the running back.
Now the running back's the opposite problem.
Exactly, because you've got Bijan Robinson, who obviously didn't play under Tom Herman last year for the first half of the season, but when he did, the guy came out like a bat out of hell. So you've got that working for you. Sincere McCormick, of course, a bona fide stud down there at UTSA, who was the Conference USA Player of the Year. And then you've got Isaiah Spiller, Texas A&M, 2020 all SEC first team. He was a Doak Walker finalist or semifinalist. Those are 3
this is tough.
Bona fide studs.
This is tough for such a different reason because
we do know how good they are.
It is an embarrassment of riches at the running back spot in Texas, which is strange. Normally it's the reverse. Normally it's so many great quarterbacks and we don't know who star running back's going to be. Here you've got tons of great running backs. I think I'm very here's the easy answer. The easy answer is Bijan Robinson because Bijan Robinson was the best recruit coming out of high school.
Right.
Bijan Robinson, I think, flashed at times last year when he had the ball, stuff like that. That's, I think, the easy choice. The hipster choice is Sincere McCormick.
Absolutely.
Because Sincere McCormick is actually has the most skins on the wall as far as running backs are concerned. He was I think the 2nd leading rusher in the nation, 3rd leading rusher in the nation last year. And is a bona fide superstar at UTSA.
Yeah, the best player in Conference USA is what they named him.
I'm not taking either of those guys. I'm going to take Isaiah Spiller.
Okay.
I think Isaiah Spiller is my pick here. I think he is the best mix of proven and the super high ceiling and the potential is still there. I think there's another level for him. If you want to say it's not Spiller, the argument would be that he's going to split carries with Devon Chan and stuff like that, right? Which is fair, but I think Isaiah Spiller is my guy there. I would take Isaiah Spiller at the running back spot here. So yeah, I'll go with that. I feel great about it, but yeah, that's super tough.
That is
just
it, that one was absolutely
because there's so many great running backs there. That are big time playmakers.
So then you head on to the wide receiver, and a guy that needs no introduction. You've got SMU's wide receiver, Reggie Roberson, who this will be 4th year there.
Mm-hmm.
He has been the go-to guy, no doubt about it. Then you go down, and maybe another little bit of a hipster pick here, but Marcel Barbie out of Texas State. 3rd team all Fun Belt. And then Texas Tech, Eric, help me out here.
Azukanma.
Yeah, I always
Keller
stutter.
Timber Creek, I want to say. He's from Keller, I want to say.
Okay. He was 1st team all Big 12 last year and 2nd in Big 12 for receiving yards as only a sophomore. So heading into his junior year, this guy's got some hype around him.
Good crop of wide receivers. Azukanma did have off-season surgery. He should be ready for week 1, but I think that, but he's certainly worthy of the hype, and he'll be the go-to guy in the Tech offense. Marcel Barbie is the hipster pick here. He's the hipster pick here because he is a lot better than a lot of people think. I think he was probably the best player on Texas State last year.
I agree.
And should be there. But the answer is Reggie Roberson. The answer is Reggie Roberson. This was one of the best wide receivers in the country last year until he got hurt.
Yes.
And is a guy who has proven it year in and year out. He was spectacular in 2019. He was spectacular in 2018. He has the skins on the wall. There is no doubt about it for me. I go with Reggie Roberson as my pick at the wide receiver spot. I would take him and put him in my offense tomorrow. That'd
I like
be my
it.
pick.
And then finally, we head to my favorite category. The big man deserves some love down in the trenches, but we've got our offensive and defensive line position. And I know that's a little odd to have to choose between.
Yeah, you're making
some
this
of them,
tough for me.
But we'll just see what you do. So Kenyon Green from Texas A&M, the left tackle, just again needs no introduction. Then you've got Achon Mathis from TCU, the defensive end. He was 2nd team all Big 12 last year. And then DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M as well, defensive lineman there.
I think Achon Mathis is super underrated here. I think that he is a guy that I think because TCU was just kind of okay last year. They were just kind of there last year. I think people don't realize how good this guy is and what a monster he is off the edge. That I think he's there. But this comes down to 2 A&M guys for me. And you really have your choice here. That you've got one of the best pass rushers in the SEC in DeMarvin Leal. You've got one of the best offensive linemen in the league.
Who's literally like a brick wall.
in Kenyon Green. The question is important here because the question is, who would you build your team around? That is where Kenyon Green gets the edge for me.
Okay.
Because I think you take him, you put him at the left tackle spot, and you forget about it. And you go, fine. One of the huge, important things that you need on your team is finished. Like
because
you've got
if you've got that, who's under center,
yeah,
it is less of a stressful situation. There.
DeMarvin Leal.
So that's where you build your team.
DeMarvin Leal is a game plan wrecker. And is
absolutely.
an absolute monster up front. But I would say that Kenyon Green at the left tackle spot, you set it, you forget it.
That is the foundation.
That's exactly right. Is if the question was who is the most dynamic player, like it's Marvin Leal.
Yes.
But if the question is who are you building your team around, Kenyon Green gets the nod from me.
And that's the other reason I loved this question so much because obviously Texas A&M got both of them. They did a great job with that, and you can do that. But just when you're talking about building a house, where is that foundation being laid?
Right. So there you go. Who would you build your team around? Let us know in the comments who you would build your team around.
That's me.
We'll post that video or we'll post that graphic on Soch.
Yeah.
And let you guys go at it in the comments as well. So good segment, Pickle.
Thanks.
Well done, because I had a big bag of nothing.
I got you.
We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com is where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. Hey, we are off the air until Tuesday.
And there's a reason.
In the meantime, why don't you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider. If you want the 2021 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football mailed directly to you before it hits newsstands, become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. You also get a year's worth of great content at TexasFootball.com, including access to our archives. If you ever want to dive into the other 61 editions of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, you can at texasfootball.com/archive for insiders there, as well as premium podcasts like Tep and Step, our premium high school football podcast where Step and I just rant about high school football. So texasfootball.com/subscribe makes a great gift.
And too, there does come a point where we will not end up mailing the magazine to you if you subscribe, so it's better to go ahead and get that
done.
out of the way.
Get
Also, too, it's fixing to be the beginning of the month, which is payday.
It's fixing to be.
That's some fun. Put your fun money towards Dave Campbell's.
You're funny.
You're funny. Yeah.
Also,
Oh, do they?
also, Friday, not tomorrow.
Next Friday,
June 4th,
one of
noon.
the best days of the year.
Right here on Texas Football Today, the exclusive cover reveal of the 2021 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, brought to you by our good friends at Home Field Apparel, homefieldapparel.com. And we will be we'll be pulling back the curtain. We will be showing you what we've been working on. We will be showing you the 2021 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. The cover, the most tightly kept secret in the state of Texas, will be revealed next Friday, June 4th, noon, live here, texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch on Texas Football Today. Again, courtesy of our good friends at Home Field Apparel, homefieldapparel.com. Pickle, last weekend, you and some friends
my buddies.
were at the Grapevine State Qualifying Tournament for 7-on-7. One of the great things about these state qualifying tournaments is that coaches are wandering around, but they have nothing to do because they can't coach.
So we snatch them up.
So we just say, hey, why don't we get some hashtag content out of it? As a result, Matt Stepp caught up with the head coach at Plano West, Coach Tyler Soukup, to talk about those Wolves. Here is Matt Stepp's conversation with Plano West coach Tyler Soukup here on Texas Football Today.
Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, back here at the Grapevine 7-on-7 state qualifying tournament. Here with the head coach of the Plano West Wolves, Coach Tyler Soukup. And, Coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us here before you guys get going with your second game.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, obviously, you're out here at 7-on-7. We all know it's not real football, and there's some things you can take away from this that you can apply towards the fall. The big boys, the most important guys out there aren't out here, but still a lot of good things you can glean from this event today. What are you looking to see out of your guys for the rest of the day, and how can that benefit you guys in the fall?
Just want to see the kids compete. Want to see them throw and catch the ball a little bit. Want to see our secondary play the ball in the air, and just align correctly and play hard.
All right, now. When you took over at Plano West, the program was in a point in their time when they were struggling. They were on a long losing streak. Things weren't going well. You guys have turned it around, made the playoffs last year. A huge accomplishment for you guys. What were some of the things when you were looking at this job? What were the things that you felt like made Plano West a place where you could win, and what steps did you take to get things turned around?
In terms of what was appealing about Plano West was just the community. I was familiar with the community, having been in a neighboring school district and lived fairly close to Plano as well. I knew the kids, I knew the community, I knew the potential of the school. When we arrived, we really just focused on the controllables, things that we had control over, and really it starts with energy and effort. We just brought a good attitude every day and tried to teach the kids that. We challenge effort every single day. We set the bar, and when they reach it, we raise it, and the kids, like I said, they're great kids, great community with great kids. They've responded really well, but just focused on the things we had control over.
All right, now you've graduated a good senior class. I know they were a big part of the turnaround that you guys had. So you're out here with a much younger crew today, and you're going to have a younger team in 2021. What were the things that you guys in the spring focused on with your kids? What were some of the areas that you really wanted to try to work on with spring football this year?
Probably no different than anybody else. Just really getting the kids to believe in execution, getting them to believe if we can get 11 kids on the field doing their job and doing it consistently, we'll be a good football team. We got a bunch of young kids that didn't know what their job was and didn't know how to do it with grit, and we've made some strides for sure this spring in getting there.
Must have been really nice to be out there in spring football. Last year with all the uncertainty we had with the pandemic and not knowing we were going to have a season, had to be real refreshing. And was there a new energy from your kids knowing that there wasn't this kind of dark cloud hanging over them about if we're going to have a season or not? I mean, we God willing, we're going to have football again next year, and things are looking good as far as that's concerned. But how much more productive was the spring, and how much more energy did your coaches and kids have?
Without a doubt, coaches and kids both. As you said, there's kind of been a dark cloud over everything we've done. We've had to play football and plan and prep for it while considering all these COVID protocols and the consequences of getting COVID. I mean, the severity of kids and their families and our families, it was a scary deal for a long time. And I think with as that is starting to subside, there's definitely a bit of relief with kids and coaches.
All right, Coach. Now, looking ahead, in your district, I talked to Basil a few minutes ago. He talks about how tough and deep your district is. From your perspective, I'm sure you agree with him. Every week in your district, it's a battle, and number 1 could beat number 8 on any given week. How challenging is that for you guys as a coaching staff, week in and week out, to prepare for such tough competition? Because there's no gimme games.
He called it, and he's 100% correct. You better show up every week in 6-6A. The challenge is getting kids to understand that, getting kids to believe there's no one on our schedule that we can show up and not play well and still beat. There's no one on our schedule that's going to be that way. So getting the kids to really understand the consistent effort that's needed week in and week out, the consistent preparation that's needed Monday through Thursday for that game is the challenge for a 16-year-old kid.
And I guess for the coaching staff, the challenge is those guys in the other field house, because, there's a lot of great coaches in this district, and the schemes are really well executed. That's got to be a challenge week in and week out for you and your coaching staff to come up with a game plan as well.
It is. Good coaches and good players on every team we play. Just got done playing Flower Mound, and Coach Basil and his staff do a tremendous job. You got a Division I quarterback behind center, and that's always a good starting point. So every one of the teams in 6-6A has terrific players and are very, very well coached.
All right, Coach, let's talk about something fun now. You're a guy who knows his barbecue. You're originally from Kansas, and they do barbecue pretty well up there, I guess. Not as good as Texas, but it's good. From your perspective, when you're going to a barbecue spot, what do you judge the barbecue spot by? What meat? I mean, because sides are extra. We don't really care about sides. It's all about the meat. So what do you judge a good barbecue spot by?
Yeah, I think probably what every Texan does, that brisket. And I'm one of those guys. I like a little bit of bark on that brisket, and like it a little more moist than dry. And so I judge it by the brisket. And I think probably most Texans do.
Now, do you do sauce? Because Kansas, they like their sauce up there. Are you a sauce guy, or have you?
Sauce on the side guy. Okay. I like to have a little control over that, but I do like some sauce.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time. Congrats on all the success at Plano West, and good luck in 21. And we appreciate what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas.
Thank you so very much. Appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Coach.
There he is, Tyler Soukup. Qualifying tournament. There, appreciate his time chatting with Matt Stepp, who is now back in Canada, but we appreciate Coach Soukup and his time. Now we go over to Ashley Pickle for a special Memorial Day episode of America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
What is mine?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I got you.
I don't know why that sounds weird on my end.
I have snare on my headphones. We're good.
I guess a couple things here. One, going back to I don't even remember if that was in the pre-show or the regular show at this point, but you were asking if people had watched us from a bunch of different states, and so quite a few people let us know. But the big highlight here is that Stepp has watched us from the state of Delaware before.
What?
He said,
Why?
I've watched from Indiana, Delaware, and Florida. Rob Hadaway threw out Colorado and Cabo, which is awesome.
Colorado. It was, you remember a couple months ago when we'd drive up to the Panhandle, and I was telling you, I was like, why don't we just keep going to Colorado?
Yep.
Like at that point, because it was like the first time we've been on the road in a while, it's like, why don't we just keep on going? Go up to Colorado.
Why are we going to turn
all
around
my friends
now?
are moving to Colorado. Like I got like 5 friends who've moved to Colorado in the last 2 years.
Yep.
It's like, that's a weird brag. I have 5 friends. But I was just like, we can just go.
And those are all of them.
That's all of them.
All my friends are
now I'm out of
Colorado.
friends.
And then the other thing is, yes, just we've said it a couple times, but reminder, we will not have a show tomorrow or Monday. It is Memorial Day. Everyone enjoy their weekend, and also keep a thought in the back of your mind of what Memorial Day really is, and
exactly right.
Enjoy your time off, enjoy your holiday weekend, but also
hold a thought. Exactly right. That's gonna do it for us. We'll be back on Tuesday. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Plano West coach Tyler Soukup for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you Tuesday. Texas Football Today.